and she loved language. And I had a French lady in Ladue teaching her, doctors. He used to teach her French. And after that, we didn't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Sit around and look at each other after we got home. That's no good. And it wasn't helping my wife, so we started going to house sales, to sales like estate sales.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have one right down here at number 8 Graymore. June 14th, Flag Day.
June 14th.
Yeah, they got a lot of antiques, collectibles, and they're going to sell the house. They're going to send they got an MG down there, an automobile from 67 that needs restoring. And they got antique furniture and dolls and all kinds of stuff down here. They're going to sell all day there. Anyway, we used to have estate sales. We used to take a client. They'd have us in. So, like, we go to work Monday and we come in and then we go some house. It would be like and appraise things. Do you have enough stuff here for us to sell? You know, we didn't want just one table, say. But we would take a whole house, whatever it was. Furniture, clothes, kitchen utensils, knickknacks, bric-a-brac is an old term we used to use, which includes any kind of thing like stuff in that brake front. And we'd say, well, we can get $5,000 for this. Okay, when you want to sell it? So we'd pick a Sunday, and we'd price stuff out. We wouldn't put price of stickers on it, though. We'd keep it in our hand and on a piece of paper. Because, say you came in at the door here, and you said, how much is that bookcase worth over there? And I'd say, I want $30 for that. And they'd say, no, I'll give you 20. No, I said, that's too low. So they'd go on, talk, and they'd come back and say, well, we'll give you 25. We did a lot of bartering this way. Bargaining. And we started out apprenticing ourselves to a man called Sasso, S-A-S-S-O. He lived at 9393 Ladue. Lou Fuse, the automobile dealer, bought his house after he retired and went to Italy, back to Italy. And we'd follow him around like puppy dogs, and we'd listen to him and him operate and so forth. And finally he said, Bill, I've got a house down here on Chassell Lane. I'm going to have 2 sales this Sunday. Would you handle one of them? I said, sure. I didn't know what I would do. It was like on the job training. So he says, here's a few items, and I got prices set on these. The rest of it, get what you can. So I said, okay. So Errol and I went down to this house, and we sold that Sunday, sold it out. He said, good job. I said, well, you didn't expect anything else from me, did you? Well, you know, he hemmed and hawed. He was a flamboyant type, you know. So finally, and he gave us another house a little later, and another house a little later. Then he says, I got a dining room over here in Ladue, and why don't you sell that? People that owned Falstaff Brewery. And I said, well, how much you want for that? I don't know. He said, $400 or $500, whatever we can get for it. It was a modern type. So my wife was very good on the phone talking to people about buying things. So we'd make appointments to go see the dining room, and we'd sell it. And I asked him, I said, well, why do you want to sell this? Well, I've got another dining room coming in from the East Coast. Antique type.
Uh-huh.
It was tables as long as this room and 16 chairs and a buffet. And he was going to take out the back of this buffet. It's an antique thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Cost him $10,000. He was going to put in a audio system.
Oh.
So he could play cassettes and records and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so we sold that dining room. And then he gave us another dining room or a bedroom set or whatever, you know. We built up a clientele of people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We'd list their name and we'd write down their phone number. And finally, we got a call from somebody who says, Mr. Schrader, are you the guy that's been helping out Mr. Sasso? Yeah. How would you like to sell some stuff for us?
What?
How would you like to sell some stuff for us?
Oh.
I said, well, I don't know. What do you got? So we talked. We went over and saw it. And we decided to take a sale.
Mm.
And we'd sell that. Then we get another referral from somebody else. My brother, you sold from my brother, and you know, and that was I guess the late 67 or something like that. We started selling up until 73 because it got so big. We were working 40 hours a week at work, and then here we work every evening and on Sundays. And it was just too much. We either had to give up our day jobs or cut out this one. So finally we decided to cut out the one selling because we just couldn't do it anymore. It was just too much work.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a lot of that. And the work at McDonnell Douglas, I don't know whether it helped me or not, but we had to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
At that time, it was climbing up and down steps. So we had a lot of stuff in the basement, a lot of stuff in the attic or in the second floor, and it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. Don't get me wrong, but it was turning into a job instead of a pastime. You know, a little hobby. So we kept doing that. And, you know, after that, we decided we turned down offers after that to do stuff. So I remember one time there was in 1967, we had a tornado go through right back of, on the other side of Olive, right back of Forum Center where they've got the Hollywood Video and other businesses along there. Manos, and the tornado, before they built those apartments back there, or condos, they used to have there wasn't anything there, and there was a tornado went through there in 67. And that night, we weren't here in this house. We were up at the Hasty Tasty restaurant at Olive and 270 having dinner just before we went to an appointment to see another house. And we missed that. The reason we found out about it was people kept coming in and saying my house just got blown away. And where can I find some clothes, you know? And we did that, and it was very enjoyable while we were doing it, but it turned out it was not a thing that we could keep at and still keep our health, so we decided to cut it. So in the process, we collected a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because then we started going to sales. We didn't buy at our own sales because it's unethical, you know, because you can knock the price way down.
Yeah.
But we bought a lot of stuff at sales, like over here.
Oh, you have a more exposure to the opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. We enjoyed it.
But you were
This rug
uh,
that you get your feet on right now, we bought this at a sale for $75. It was burned at the end.
Wow.
You know. Well, we had to have it cut off and refringed.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, this is the kind of stuff we used to buy. I didn't buy the recliner, but this table right here came out of 40 North Kings Highway. A building a little bit from the this table right here came out of an old lady's apartment. You see the indentation, the hole in this thing. That's because the old lady was handicapped, and she wanted to eat her lunch and watch TV. So she'd pull this thing up so she could have her knees in this little place right here, and so she could eat and watch TV at the same time. And we got that at 40 North Kings Highway in a sale there. It's just north of the Park Plaza Hotel. And so, you know, we bought that. These two white cabinets over here came out of 800 South William Street. Those two cabinets there that I have stuff in now came out of my wife's boyhood, girlhood bookcase in their home. It's from the late 30s, 1930s, and recently I've been hunting things and putting it in. In fact, I see her when she was a little girl, her electric stove is in there. That's the kind of stuff that was enjoyable. And that's one of the reasons I made it through my daughter's passing away. It was not what you call it was a joyous time, actually.
So your girl passed away at what age?
13.
13. Wow.
Well, see, she, nothing wrong, sick, not sick, hardly ever sick. She used to go to the Central Middle School right over here. They called it junior high at the time. And it was she went to school one morning, and in the, she was on the, trying out for the track team. So she was running a mile run that day. Came home, we took her into Clayton to Miss Broughton, to her music or piano teacher, and she would give her a lesson. When she got out of this, we talked. She didn't feel good. She said, "I got a tremendous headache." I said, "Well, I'll give you a couple of aspirin." I gave her a couple of aspirin, and finally, she sort of lapsed into a coma. And so when my wife got out, my wife was going to class, taking a botany class at Forest U. So we picked her up and took our daughter to Overland Medical Clinic. And they said, "Boy, we got to get her to a hospital." So they took her to Lutheran Hospital, which was a hospital at that time on Kings Highway. And they operated on her for 4 hours. And next day they said, "Well, you know, if she can start breathing by 3 o'clock on her own, we're going to take off the support equipment." And she couldn't do it. She couldn't resume breathing, so she passed away. Election Day, 1964.
And they still don't know. Do you know?
It was a ruptured blood vessel in the brain.
Oh.
And it destroyed her brain. Completely destroyed her. And they said, well, it's similar to, it said, have you ever seen a strawberry on somebody's arm or hand where the blood vessels are up above the skin? Red mark. I said, yeah. That's what happened in the brain. And I said, she'd been getting good medical care. Couldn't they detect that? Not at that time they couldn't. I don't know whether they can do it anymore or not. But in 1964, they couldn't do it. So we had we even, being a person that's perfectly healthy,